It only takes one thing. One single unexpected bill. A car repair, a fridge that dies, and boom, all that careful budgeting can just fall apart. Picture this. You're driving, life's good, and then you hear that awful thump thump thump, flat tire. The bill comes out to $800 and your wallet is looking pretty empty. So out comes the credit card, and you can practically hear that interest meter start to spin.
And look, this isn't some rare horror story. It's the reality for a huge number of people. A staggering 57% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency with their savings. And it's not because they're bad with money. It's because most of us were never taught about the one financial foundation that everything else is built on. So let's fix that right now. This is your step-by-step guide to building that foundation, even if you're starting from absolute zero.
So what is this thing we're actually building? Well, think of an emergency fund as your own personal financial firewall. It's this protective shield, right? It stands between your life and total financial disaster. It's designed to absorb the shock so one bad month doesn't turn into 6 bad months of debt and stress.
And this is a really, really important distinction. An emergency fund is a dedicated cash reserve. It has one job and one job only. It's not for saving up for a vacation. It's not for investing. Its only purpose is to cover genuine, unexpected financial emergencies. So your car breaks down? Yep. A surprise medical bill? Absolutely. Using it for last-minute concert tickets? That's going to be a hard no.
Getting this right is absolutely critical for this to work. A real emergency is something huge and unexpected, like suddenly losing your job, an urgent medical bill, or a pipe bursting in your house. What it's not for are things like planned holidays, the cool new phone that just came out, or a sale that just seems too good to miss. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about this difference. It's what protects the fund.
So, what's your personal target? We've all heard that classic advice, right? Save 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But what does that actually mean for you? It's not a one-size-fits-all number. It has to be personalized for your life, your job, your situation. And this right here is the key word, essential. We are not talking about saving 3 to 6 months of your current lifestyle. Nope. We are talking about bare-bones survival mode expenses. This means your rent to mortgage, groceries, utilities, gas to get to work, and your minimum debt payments. Notice what's not on that list? Things like subscriptions, eating out, or entertainment. This makes the goal so much more achievable than most people think.
So here's the super simple math. First, you're going to add up only those essential costs we just talked about. Let's say it comes out to around $2,000 a month. Okay, step 2, multiply that number. If you've got a really stable job, maybe you're in a dual income household, you could aim for 3 months. If you're a freelancer or in a less predictable industry, you'll probably want to shoot for 6. That final number, that's your goal. That's your peace of mind number.
All right, you have your definition, you've got your target number. Now for the most important part, the actual plan. This is the 5-step system to build your fund from scratch, and we're going to start with the one question that most people get wrong. Where in the world do you keep this money?
Believe it or not, where you keep this fund matters almost as much as having it in the first place. And the clear winner, it's not even a contest, is a high-yield savings account, or an HYSA. A regular savings account earns you next to nothing, but an HYSA can earn you 4 or 5% in interest. That means your money is actually growing and keeping up with inflation while it just sits there. And crucially, it's separate from your day-to-day checking account, which makes it just a little bit harder to dip into on an impulse.
Okay, here is the exact system. Step 1. Just focus on getting to $1,000 first. That little mini fund covers most common headaches, and it's a huge psychological win. Step 2. Automate it. Set up an automatic transfer for the day after you get paid. Step 3. Find one extra source of cash. Cancel a subscription, sell something you don't use, and throw 100% of that money into the fund. Step 4. Any financial windfalls, like a tax refund or a work bonus, go straight into the fund. And finally, Step 5. Celebrate the milestones. Don't wait until the very end to feel good about what you're doing. Of all those steps, automation is by far the most powerful. It's the whole pay yourself first idea. Anyone who says they'll save what's left over at the end of the month, well, there's never anything left over, is there? You have to move that money into your emergency fund before you even get a chance to think about spending it. This one habit, I promise you, is the difference between succeeding and failing. Now, you'd think that building the fund is the hard part, but here's the twist that nobody ever warns you about: keeping it. See, most emergency funds don't disappear in one big dramatic event. They fail slowly, almost silently. It's a threat I like to call the slow drip. The real enemy isn't that one single catastrophe.
It's the constant, steady flow of what I call borderline decisions. You know, the urgent car service, that amazing flight deal that you'll never see again, or fixing that cracked phone screen that just feels necessary right now. Each one seems kind of justified in the moment, but together they will drain your fund to zero.
So how do you fight back against this? You need a clear, simple tool. Before you pull a single dollar from that account, you have to ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Was this completely unexpected? 2. Is it absolutely necessary for my survival or basic well-being? And 3, the big one, can it wait 2 weeks without a serious consequence? If the answer to any of those is no, then it is not a real emergency.
This is the single most powerful rule you can use to protect your fund. That 2-week cooling off period, it stops something like 80% of false alarms. It gives you time to breathe, to think, to find another way. It protects the firewall you worked so hard to build. If it can wait 2 weeks, it belongs in your regular budget, not your emergency fund. Okay, let's bring all this home, because honestly, the biggest benefit of having this fund isn't even financial. It's psychological. It's about changing your entire relationship with money, with stress, and with your future. When you have that 3 to 6 month runway, you stop making decisions based on fear. You can finally leave that toxic job. You can negotiate for a better salary with real confidence. You can handle a layoff with a clear head, making calm, strategic plans instead of rushed, panicked choices. Financial security isn't really about the money. It's about the options and the peace of mind that money gives you.
So here is your action plan. 3 super simple things I want you to do this week. First, open that high-yield savings account. You can do it today. It literally takes 10 minutes. Second, set up an automatic transfer for your next payday. Even if it's just $25, just start the habit. And third, calculate your personal target number. Write it down and put it somewhere you'll see it every day.
An emergency fund is the foundation that makes every other financial goal possible. Without it, you are always one bad month away from having to start all over again. Building the shield gives you something truly priceless, the ability to face the future from a position of strength, not panic.